KCTV, Lawan Rashipi Daka Frank Yamaha, the Maxi Sports Scooter A-Rox 155.
Congress's commitment to Meghalaya, empowering the women of Meghalaya. 3,000 rupees every month to every single BPL mother in Meghalaya.
5 commitments na kasing Congress na kabinta ka 5-star Meghalaya.
Unang yalam jangka Meghalaya Trinamool Congress Mukul Sangma haka atpui trik urumpang 8,000 ulah Kynnoh ba Menteri Rangba Kajala Conrad ki Sangma udon kti haki babun ki kam Bamsap bat ki kam syukur yaki ba jangka jala kabakot ki kelur tingka. Hak jeng keren bekila pathai khubor Mukul Sangma ulah Kynnoh baka sarkar MDA balaya lamda ke NPP kalashim ya karai hak jeng alang jangka kenhun menteri banbu ya kador Jaka ka batang prapusan dengka shi square feet na kebenta ka jeng he ka Jaka ka ba pras pa nyaw akar. Syu Mukul Sangma ulah thalan ting e ya menteri rangba kajala ya menteri ketenat revenue bat ya menteri ketenat penroiser. Da ka ba Kynnoh bakilaya selalang halor kani ka kam Bamsam.
This Meghalaya Democratic Alliance, which I will refer as Meghalaya Deceitful Alliance, for once again embarking upon their modus operandi of looting the state. This time, by engaging in purchase of a land, which comes to around 807 acres, and which were purchased from the residents of Mukul village at the rate of 45 rupees per square feet, for which the government ultimately paid to the middleman a very highly inflated rate of rupees 85 per square feet. Meaning, the government has embarked upon this modus operandi to have their middlemen purchase the land, duping the landowners, innocent landowners, innocent villagers at a throwaway price of rupees 45 and made a payment of rupees 85 per square feet to their middlemen. If you look at the modus operandi of this government, one after another, everywhere they have engaged in all acts to rob the state, to satisfy their swelling greed at the cost of the state. In the instant case, if you look at the rate at which they have bought this land and decided to pay at an inflated price of rupees 85 was decided upon by the cabinet on the on the 4th of October 2021. This is the cabinet, this is the letter by the Urban Affairs, Department of Urban Affairs, Government of Meghalaya, which has communicated the decision of the cabinet approving the purchase of land at a highly inflated rate of 85 rupees per square feet for total of 807 acres of land. Now, if you look at this decision, now you cannot particularly allege only one particular department. The whole decision has been taken by the cabinet. You are well aware of the fact that there are ministers who, as per the rules of executive business, has the honors of responsibility in approving various proposals of their respective departments. The respective portfolios allocated to the respective ministers. So, therefore, the minister in charge of urban affairs have piloted this program, this proposal, and appropriately approved by the Department of Revenue and Disaster Management. And any cabinet decision that is to be considered in as far as the proposals of various departments are concerned, the cabinet items are all approved by the Chief Minister. So therefore, the three persons, the Chief Minister, the Revenue Minister, and the Minister in charge of Urban Affairs Department, have entered, if we go by all these inputs which is available before the public domain now, have entered into a criminal conspiracy to rob the state of such a huge amount of money. If you're looking at the difference comes to over 140 crores. Now these 140 crores could have been given to the land owners, the innocent land owners, the innocent villagers, who have inherited this beautiful land, who have preserved and protected this land. Now, how is it possible for the government of the day, in a democracy which revolves around the spirit of the people, by the people, for the people? Everything that we do must be for the people, by the people who are elected. Therefore, we demand, just on the day of addressing an election rally in Garo Hills, the Union Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shahji, has gone hammer and tongs, alleging the state of being neck deep in corruption, and have referred Meghalaya as the #1 corruption state in the country. This is something which has defamed the name of the state and its people. Corruption is not our way of life. Our people are not that greedy. Go by all records, never in the history of Meghalaya has this kind of alleged irregularities and corruption of this scale has happened. And never has in the past did we see any instance of the state being tainted as the #1 corrupt state. I want to urge upon the people of the state to see that you rescue the state from the hands of these people who have been responsible for this infamous state of being the #1 corrupt state in the country. It's a very infamous state. The moment we go outside the state, how will we identify ourselves? We would always say that, yes, we are from Meghalaya. So people will be looking at us. Oh, these are the people from the most corrupt state. This is how we want to have our identity. It's very painful. The greed of the people have gone to such extent that they have even robbed the innocent villagers and our own innocent residents of the state, resulting in loss of huge resources from the exchequer, state exchequer. I would like to urge the Union Home Minister, who is still in Meghalaya, engage in his campaign, election campaign, to take cognizance of this particular instance of corruption, the instance of alleged corruption. Let there be an immediate investigation, and let there be necessary process of law. We all understand that only when there is a fear for law, there is a self-regulation. Now, if people can engage in this kind of alleged corruption with impunity, then we also have to have doubts about the sincerity of those who are enforcing the law of the land. The onus of the responsibility lies with everyone. We have raised on a number of occasions, various other instances, this whole instance of repeated corruption, whether it's the issue of the alleged corruption in Sobhaikyas, the alleged dome collapse, then the smart meters came, and now the Meghalaya land scam. People must come together and see that the people who are engaged in looting the state with complete impunity must be taken to task. It's a time when people should decide whether Meghalaya should still have this infamous take of being the corrupt state or want to free the state from this infamous take of being the number one corrupt state. It is definitely a matter of shame for every citizen and every resident of Meghalaya. It does not augur well for democracy, because when we talk about democracy, when we talk about corruption in a democracy, for a layman, I think I will put it in a simple way. When the resources for the welfare of the state is robbed by the people who are vested with the power and responsibility of administering them to satisfy their swelling greed, that is what corruption is. When they siphon off the money which is meant for the development of the state and for the welfare of the poor, for various other important social welfare initiatives, and how it impacts everybody's life. Corruption is the worst thing that can happen for a state, for a nation. We have seen across the world as to how corruption has ultimately crippled every nation which were engaged in corruption with impunity. Corruption at high levels. That's why I have said that corruption is more dangerous than robbery, more crippling and deadlier than terrorism. It does not affect only one individual. When corruption inflicts an injury into the fiscal health of the state, when the coffers go dry, it will derail the whole momentum of progress and prosperity. It will ultimately create a situation which you already see, like the district council, Garo Hills Autonomous District Council. It will be painful for all of us when we try to really analyze and understand. Even this small example that Garo Hills Autonomous District Council, which is established on the mandate of the Constitution, reference the 6th schedule of the Constitution, to protect, preserve our culture, our way of life. Today, this district council is not able to pay salaries. So this very huge landscape is only reflective of what is going on, what has been going on. Do we want to allow this to go on? Those who love the state and those who are concerned for the future of the state must all come together and ensure that the state is freed from the hands of these people. Scams after scams, scams after scams. I have written some letters demanding inquiry. And I think as I share this instance of this land scam in Meghalaya, it's high time that the government of India take cognizance of this particular scam, Meghalaya land scam. Immediate investigation to go into this instance of alleged corruption must happen immediately. And I share my pain with the people who have been so latently deprived and discriminated of their due just to meet the ever swelling greed of these few politicians. Thank you.